Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Don't Sleep on the Couch podcast. This is our indie artist spotlight. A couple weeks ago, my man King James, shout out to him. Go check out his album, Prodigal Son. He just passed on an artist to me and said, hey man, listen to this King. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to it. And a little busy at the time, moving through and doing some traveling. In my travels, I'm on my way back from the States, and I'm flying back to Germany where I'm stationed at, and I'm listening to King the Divine, and I'm like, damn, like, who is this and why am I late? And like I always tell y'all, I love to be late on people. Why? Because that means I have a whole lot of discography to catch up on, and that's always a good time for me when you find an artist that's dope. So this artist is from Brooklyn, New York. That's my hometown, which is another dope thing about this interview. But without further ado, I'd like to bring to the couch, King. What's going on, my guy?
Man? How you guys doing?
We good, man. So before you even say a few words, before we get into the interview, I just want people to hear a little bit of your music. Let me know if you can hear the music, man. Okay. I'm sharp.
Hey yo, kick ass, I'm lizard in Mortal Kombat. My comrades penetrate with force till the palm red. Mom said, nigga, you good at your last conquest. Float above the border, stay focused and keep your mindset honest. Ain't a nigga illa if I'm conscious. Bomb shit, unleash the pen, I'm atomic. COVID in my colon, now a nigga spit vomit. Emotions on my shoulders, it be hard to make progress. Fuck it, I can make gold out of rubbish. Told never fold, if I do, then I'm bugging. Rolls out the mode with these niggas straight frontin'. Do what you doesn't, move with the ruckus. I'm random at times, as many times niggas can't handle my lines. Stand to the side.
So that's gold out of rubbish. That's off his latest project, Delusions of Grandeur. Let's start with that. That's your latest project. But before we get into that, I just want you to let the people know where you from, how you got your start, and just, anything you want to tell about yourself before we get started.
No doubt. Well, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I was born in Texas because my parents was actually in the military too. I actually should have brought that up, bro. My mom and my father met in the military and they had me. So after I was born, we kind of moved to Brooklyn. And, they had a little shaky relationship, so we was back and forth. But I grew up a little bit in Long Island too. I love hip hop and I love art. Like since young, my father was playing Help the Skelter, Daz Effects, Poor Righteous Teachers, all of the real, like the gritty joints, you know what I'm saying, around me from young. And it made me love the culture and rap. I also started to do my own discovery as I got older and I started understanding the lyrics and what dudes was doing and the Nation of the Gods and the Earths. And, just doing the knowledge on my culture and my history just because of a few words these dudes was saying over tracks really made me gravitate towards the music. Like when I first heard Nas say certain things like freedom of jail, clips inserted, the babies being born, same time a man's murdered, the beginning and end. As far as rap goes, only natural, I explain my plateau and also what defines my name. And when I fully started to understand shit like that and how philosophical and powerful it was, it took me somewhere, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I really got my start. And, we're going to get more into it later, but that's a little introduction.
And yeah, and at the time, Nas is 17, 18, around that age of that rhyme. And right. I want to let the cat out the bag. When people listen to your music, just let them know how old you are.
Yeah. So I'm 21 right now. I started when I was 17, actually recording music, and I started writing when I was about 8 years old, but I didn't feel like I was good enough until I was in my late teens to actually put out something.
And if this is your first time listening to Don't Sleep on the Couch podcast and hear about Ja, I highly encourage you, stop the interview right now. Go to the music, listen to Delusions of Grandeur or Paint Chips, either one. You know what I mean? He has 3 projects in total. But anything in his discography, and you won't believe that he's 21. The same way you wouldn't believe that rhyme he spit by Nas is over 30 years old. But a lot of people didn't think Nas was the age he was and had that type of wisdom. So you talked about your pops who had an influence, and you mentioned him heavily in your raps, and that's something that I picked up. You know, how did he influence you with all of these different artists, and do you think that's exactly what made you who you are as far as an MC?
Yeah, well, you know, one reason I pay a lot of homage to my pops anyway is because, you know, I kind of want to break that stigma, the black father thing, and they never did. So that's why I also, like, you know, I put him in my rhymes a lot, and I let people know he was there. You know, even if we disagree, we don't see eye to eye on everything, he was always there. But he, yeah, my dad played a lot of those records around me, boy. Like, I remember being 5, 6 years old in a tank top bumping like a 50 Cent, get rich or die trying, you know what I'm saying? And like, just everything. He used to play it around me. But not only him, it would be my grandfather. My grandfather introduced me to the 80s. Grandmaster Cass, like, you know what I'm saying? Kumo D, like all of that ill shit, Rakim, you know, like, and that played a part in me developing too, because I heard a lot of the 90s stuff, but then my grandfather said, but no, this is the foundation. You know what I'm saying? This is the pillars. That shit took me to a whole nother place as well. So it was him. And also my grandmother had a little bit of help in that, because she played, you know, Sister Sledge records, Michael Jackson, Funkadelic records, you know, all of that soul from the 70s and 80s, disco, funk, you know, I got into that because of her. So.
And that's dope to hear, man, because for a cat your age, and man, my son, my oldest daughter's about to turn 18. My son is 15, and I don't hold no punches. I play what I want to play around them. They hear. Right. He was listening to you as I was prepping for the interview, and even him, like at this point, I done beat it in his head so much. Like I don't even like. He still likes cats like the Baby and the current crop of guys, but he has respect for the people that I listen to now. You know what I mean? And I don't think that if I wasn't in his life, he probably wouldn't have that respect for the people that I listen to. He would just be like, whatever, I'm gonna listen to these guys that I listen to. Forget you old dudes, you know what I mean? So that's dope that you know, your pops and your moms and your grandmom, grandfather had you kind of just listening to the essence of what was built. You know what I mean? As far as this hip hop game, man. So I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about this. I'm just the latest project, Delusions of Grandeur, and just a lot of the skits and the sayings, because you were listening, you were mentioning you know, 5%ers and different things like that. And then I've seen on other interviews and things that you've posted, you've mentioned Wu-Tang and RZA as one of the producers that you rock with. I gotta say, man, who are some of your influences? I know Wu-Tang is one of them.
Mm-hmm. As far as like my just rap alone,
just rap, like rap alone, past and present. Who are some of your influences that just kind of make you do what you do?
It's like J Electronica, MF Doom, Kool Keith, Kool G Rap. He's at the top. You know what I'm saying? Kool G Rap.
A lot of people don't give him credit for being a pillar in gangster rap. A lot of people don't give him that credit.
Rap is crazy, boy. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. His style is so like timeless and so like you hear what dudes like Ransom, Rome Streets, a lot of that cadence, that bar structure they rap with, the rhyme scheme. That's Kool G shit. Like Rome Streets is like a slow down Kool G. It's kind of like the shit they gave Nas. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Kool G Rap, I feel like, is one of those pillars along with like Rakim. You know, Rakim brought the knowledge, Kool G brought a lot of, you know, the gangster shit and the swag to it. You know, as well as Rakim, but they did it a little different. So
yeah.
You know, those names really helped me. And also GZA. GZA is another one. I love the genius. He's ill. he was my introduction to like real poetic rappers besides Nas. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
For sure. So as I'm listening to your projects and I'm going through it, one of the things that I kept saying to myself is like, you don't have the monotone flow. You try different pockets, you try different things. Even on one of your projects, the last song is just an instrumental. You know what I mean? On Paint Chips, like you just let it rock out, and you know y'all vibe out to this instrumental. So I want to get into like, how do you choose production? How do you get into the beginnings of your rap? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you start with just written material that you have just because you have it in your head and on your phone, or if you still write down on a pad paper? Like, how do you choose the production and then the rhyme schemes, and how do you kind of go from point A to point Z?
Well, we could start with the writing before we get to the production.
Gotcha.
So when I first started writing, it was a lot of on paper journal stuff. But then, you know, I got older, so I started moving around, you know, a lot, always doing something here. So thank God we got phones. I started using my phone a lot, you know, to write my rhymes and stuff like that. So what I would do is I'll write like maybe a line or two down throughout my day. You know what I'm saying? And then like I like Frankenstein rhymes together to make my stuff, you know, hit, because I'll have a lot of the same thoughts, like a lot of things that hit me the same way, just it was a different day. And you know, I'll see that within my lines and be like, all right, let me piece these together. Let me just find a scheme, you know, to do that now. But now with the production tip, so I've kind of grown in what I loved in production. First, it was like very raw, dusty, because, you know, I'm very influenced by, you know, the Lord Finesses, the Wu-Tang, Grand Puba, like them eras are just dusty, boom bap, soulful joints. But now I'm somewhere where like I love a Mad Lib, I love an Alchemist, where I love a lot of music in my beats, because it brings a lot of life to the record, and it kind of talk for you also with your rhyme. So so now I write to the beats. So whatever that beat is giving me is like, that's what I'm gonna put out. Believe it or not, bro, I wrote Delusions, and this is probably my best writing I ever did as an MC and artist. I wrote this whole project no longer like a month and probably a week. And it's because I heard them beats and it was resonating with everything I wanted to do. I wanted to become a better rapper from Paint Chips, and that was only 4 months ago, but I felt like I didn't do enough. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what that was.
And I could see the growth, you know, because clearly you want to be better. As an artist, you always your worst critic. As a podcaster, I'm always my worst critic. I think my last interview wasn't as good as my current one. You know what I mean? I always want to get better, ask better questions, kind of get people to know who you are. So I understand where you're coming from when you're talking about that. So it's one of those things where I see the growth. You know what I mean? And again, my man put me on less than a month ago. You know what I mean? And I wanted to hit you after I listened to Delusions of Grandeur, but I was like, let me go back and listen to all of his stuff so I had some type of material to talk about. But as I can see it, you grew over time. You know what I mean? And this latest project that you have it's just more full. You know what I mean? It's more purposeful to me, but you do have a lot of gems on your early stuff. So don't kind of sell yourself short in that instance. So one of the other songs I wanted to get into, you know what? I'll curb that. I'm speeding. Let me talk about a little bit about, you know, the label and some of your guys. You know what I'm saying? I see your man Javi in the background, man. Like, talk a little bit about your label and kind of what you guys are doing right now.
So like Divine Records, bro, is like we a creative collective of like artists and dudes that not only love hip hop culture, but pop culture, period. So rather it be film, cartoons, paintings, Picasso pieces, whatever it is, we just love, you know, creation. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like the foundation of the movement and some of the like the things we kind of keep within our music. That cinematic, adult swimish, kind of funny, kind of, you know, feel to the music, make you really experience something is what we're trying to do. I started it 2 years ago. I got my LC done. I did my research on how to start a label.
Wait. Mm-hmm. You started it?
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know how many cats my age can't even put together a plan like that to where you have 4 artists right now?
Mm-hmm. Like 4.
And you have videographers.
Yep.
Go ahead, continue on, man. Continue on. That's crazy.
Videographers, we have photographers, cover people that, you know, do our artwork now that tap in, like, and that's what I say when I studied the game. I didn't only study how to rap, but I studied the business aspect of the Tang Clan. And
great to hear. Go ahead, continue.
You know what I'm saying? Man. Or Griselda. It wasn't only the music; it was the lifestyle. It was the things they was also bringing outside. You know what I'm saying? The kung fu, the Taoism, the knowledge, the 5% Nation, Griselda, the Coke rap, naming they brand Griselda, putting the scorpion on stuff for Coke. You know what I'm saying? Like little stuff like that, I realize is what makes something more than just music. It makes it big. And I said, all right, so I'm gonna do my own thing. What I'm into cartoons, movies, film, writing, poetry, and just hip hop. Let me put that into my music now and give people that feeling, you know? So that's kind of, you know, where how I came about that.
Okay.
Studying the goats.
Yeah, let's stay in that lane. So let's just, the Delusions of Grandeur, let's stay on that. The album cover, clearly that is artwork. Clearly that's what you went to. Kind of describe the thought process behind the creation or what you wanted in the album cover and the significance of it.
So my boy, that's the actual painting right there too. So my boy, I met my mans. I'm not sure if he's from the UK or like Greece, but we met over the internet after I dropped Paint Chips. And I seen he had worked with a few guys in the scene, like the guy Fahim, you know, homie MF Blue, Spanish Rain. Like I was tapped in, so I'm like, this is dope right here. So he had ended up like building a relationship with me after Paint Chips. So I asked him, you know, could he do my artwork? He said, yeah. I asked him the prices. He said, I got you because I mess with you. Just some little background, you know.
Right.
So the painting itself, though, like, I was telling him how I had this concept for like a samurai movie type of thing, and how I started like doing the research on what Delusions of Grandeur actually meant. So I say, you know, I'm a kind of break down the concept like this. Like a Black person Delusions of Grandeur would be like that one day we get out of, you know, the cycles of like police brutality, crab in a basket mentalities, you know, lying, saying we're going to change and doing this and not really putting in the work and expecting something. Like that's a Black person Delusion of Grandeur. Then I would say, you know, a white person Delusion of Grandeur would be, you feel me, like that they really believe that their way of force, power, trick, knowledge, and all of that really makes them powerful. When the end, it really just show they're a coward that got to manipulate to get their way. And I wanted to tell an album from the point of view of a samurai and how a samurai and a Black person life is kind of parallel. Like our whole life, we got to fight. We got to become strong. We got to become knowledgeable. You got to really know your stuff and become sharp. You know, that's why I keep saying I'm sharp because I done learned some of the things that keep me ahead, and, you know, and not die. You know what I'm saying? As a samurai warrior, you know, fighting through this life of a young Black dude. So that's kind of the whole concept behind the painting and all of that.
Dope. Mm-hmm. So with that, man, like at 21, man, I got a little brother that's 24, and you know, we talk about this stuff often. Sometimes I'm talking to my little brother, man, and it feels like that right now, man. And it feels like he's the older brother, and I'm 14 years older than him. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He just super knowledgeable, and you seem to be the same way. So, you know, with that said, man, like your rap style and your family background and the influences, why do you rap this way? Why do you choose to rap the way you rap? You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to. Especially how, you know, some New York cats are representing very well that are in your age bracket, you know, 20 to 30. And I don't want to, you know, discard them in this, but like, you don't have to rap the way you rap. You could easily do the status quo. Why do you purposely choose to be in this lane, like to be that throwback nostalgia type of rapper, but put your twist on it in the new lingo and stuff that people your age talk about? Why do you choose to do it that way?
I feel like it's important because a lot of people my age and in the world period, they done lost culture and what it means to be like cultured and know your roots and your background. I just feel like what I'm doing is just, that's my ancestors. Those my background. Hip hop taught me. So like, you have to give back. You can't, you know, make money off this thing, profit off this thing, travel around the world doing all these things and then never acknowledge what was before you. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of rappers or a lot of movements, they crumble, you know, because they not acknowledging what was before. That's why you get all of this microwave stuff that don't last. The mainstream, they don't even really have culture. It's just who can stay relevant for these next few months or year or two. You know what I'm saying? That's not what hip hop is, and it shouldn't be. So I feel like me being my age, how I dress, how I look, I could kind of like show people, yo, you could be cool. You could look like the rappers you like, but you could still do this and, you know, and get it off. So that's really my whole thing. I'm not really trying to be popular. I just love to be sharp, and I love to show, you know, like this thing matters. It's not old school. It's music. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's just art. So don't box it in, because you don't box in Drake. You don't box in the Baby. You don't box in none of them dudes. So don't do it with this either. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man.
Artists.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Words matter. Words matter. Exactly. Subject matter matters. What you say can last a lot longer than just a fad. You know, exactly. And me and my man talk about that all the time as we talk about albums and why we like the people we like. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, even if a guy has presence, even if he has, you know, all the intangibles and stuff like that, like you mentioned Drake, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the dude can rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what you say about him, he can rap. You know what I mean? And you can go to another end. You know, you can go to the Freddie Gibbs. You can go to Jay Electronicas. You can go to, at the end of the day, what they have to live on and why they still tour is because they rap well and whatever they say resonates. So would you rather have a long career doing what you love to do and not compromising yourself, or compromise yourself and be on stage rapping a whole bunch of words that you don't really care about?
That you don't care about, you know what I'm saying, that you know, everybody else is already doing. It's like, nah, boy. You know what I'm saying? I do like little open mics and events now, and people that, you know, I have 5 dudes on me sound like Pop Smoke or whatever, and I get off and they have become a fan. So that tells you something. Like, people want something different. You know what I'm saying? They really don't want the same stuff. No matter how many times a blog or some rapper from the back in the day say they don't want that no more, they lying. People love organic music at the end of the day. It's just, it's more work in this realm. It's not just, I'm going to get signed or these people going to give me $1 million and I'm going to blow up. It's, nah, you got to work, do your research, and yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And you shouted out Griselda earlier, but that's it. You know, Griselda, there's a lot of other cats that have paved the way that are doing the same type of, just, they rapping. And they just think about the Grammy Awards last year. You know what I'm saying? You had Hit Boy and Nas. You had Freddie Gibbs. Like, those are 2 cats that don't typically, they get nominated, but they may not win. You know what I'm saying? But those were produced by two gritty ass producers that can go in their bag, and then both of the rappers can just rap. You know what I mean? So, you know, that just shows you, man, like all you have to do is do it well. You know what I mean? Like that, you know, you just can't rap over those gritty bars and not be saying nothing. Right. But you have to do it well at the same time. So I wanted to get into your most latest project. You know what I mean? So y'all go check out Paint. Actually, I want you to just mention some of the projects that you got out and kind of your evolution. Before we get into Delusions of Grandeur, I just want you to mention the projects that you have in your catalog and just your evolution from each project, like in your own words.
Okay. So like Growing Pains was my first project. That was after I dropped out of college. I was actually on a basketball scholarship for 4 years on a full ride, but I decided like, I don't really want to do this no more. I've always been into other things. Basketball was just something I was doing and I happened to be good at. So, you know, those are a lot of, just kind of imagine like the expectations, what people wanted for you, all of these type of things now go out the window and you kind of like left alone, frustrated. Nobody really understand you too much. It's weird. That was the energy going into Growing Pains. Literally having real growing pains and just trying to grow up now and not knowing if I made the right decision or not, but it felt right. You know what I'm saying? So I went on my gut. And that album too, the lyricism was dope. You could hear I'm trying. You could hear like the emotion in it. You could hear it's a lot of potential here. You know what I'm saying? I could say that about that album. Then I released something called Pray for New York. It was like a short EP. That one is dope. You know, it got like a couple.
The Rock Marcy joint on there. That's fire. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of Rock odes to some legends on there as well.
Yeah. Like
MF Doom.
Odie to MF Doom, on and on. And I think around the time of Pray for New York is when I was trying to find out, okay, now what lane of this rapping thing I'm going to be in? Am I going to be the emcee? Am I going to be the super creative experimental one? Am I going to be the vibey dude, you know, like a Mussolini or, you know, those type of dude, like Rock Marcy? That's more of like a nod your head, vibey type of thing. So I was trying to figure out what worked for me, you know? And so it was a little growth there too in the writing. I was starting to put stuff together a little bit better. I was starting to understand the game a little bit more. And that one got me a lot of fans too, low key, because a few pages had reposted it. Then came Paint Chips. At this time of my life, I was like, you know, I was going back to school now. I was working a lot, you know, dealing with little life stuff, friendships breaking, people weird, trying to make money, not having enough money to do certain things, you know, hungry a little bit, just little stuff like that. You know, I was going through and just a little frustrated. So that was Paint Chips. It was erratic. You know, the metaphor for Paint Chips is like I kind of was all over the place, just putting stuff together, chips of paint, you know, trying to figure out what I'm really about. And I was getting closer to it. I was rapping a little bit better. And yeah, and conceptually I was starting to put things together. You know, that album for some strengths, I had like Napoleon Hill.
Yeah. Tough.
Cole Anthony.
Yeah, we're gonna get into Cole Anthony.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing. That goes back to the whole basketball thing. These are all dudes I played with, you know, growing up. Cole Anthony, Cam Reddish, all them dudes in the NBA now. That was my, you know,
class
competition right there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That was my class. So, you know, that was on Paint Chips. Like kind of just figuring out, okay, I understand now, you know, what was going on. And then, you know, Delusions of Grandeur came about when I seen KJ drop Verbal Art and the love he was getting for just rapping. He went into that album just attacking shit, boy. Like, and it was amazing to see. It was over his own type of production that he liked, It wasn't nothing extra. Like, he just said, I'm gonna rap. And when I seen that, I said to myself, maybe I'm overthinking this shit too.
Yo,
Like,
KJ
bro,
did
just
KJ did exactly what I would like more established artists to do.
exactly.
Like, say fuck it. Fuck it. Like yo, the last episode, hold that thought. But I want to get this thought off because I'm old and I might forget it. But last episode, episode 121, we just went off into a tangent and we was talking about who would, what one producer would work best with Jadakiss. Because we feel like Jada owes us just bars only. This bars only album. That's all we want from Kiss, because the display, the MC display that he put on in verses was just epic. He spit a verse that was almost 10 years old and people thought it was new. That's timeless.
Yo. And that's what I was learning. Like, yo, go back to that feeling, that aggression you had on Growing Pains, where you was just rapping. You say, I'm just gonna put out my best effort as far as a writer. And just now with all the newfound knowledge, wisdom, whatever, skill, do it again. And that was Delusions of Grandeur. Paint Chips was like the conceptual thing I was getting into. Delusions of Grandeur was like the rap, the feeling with the conception, you know, the conceptual thing I did on Paint Chips all put together and merged. So it's like I combined all three of those last tapes or albums and I put it into this one. And I made it all make sense for myself. I figured out, okay, you want to be an MC, you want to rap, but you want to be creative as well. You know what I'm saying? So that was Delusions of Grandeur and the whole concept I told you before. Yeah,
you pulled it off, man, because a lot of dudes, you know, it's a lot of music that comes out every week. A lot of people put people on the music, but a lot of things is, or what I will say is that when you rap and you rap well, it's easily to get lost when you don't make really good music, because at the end of the day, people gotta resonate with your story, resonate with your sound. You just can't wrap their head off to something that doesn't resonate. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of the things that you intertwine in there, like we've talked about this entire podcast, you know, bringing your pops into your raps, or just the art that you love and all these different things. Like, we pick that up as we listen to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we pick up that you like Commons. We pick up that you're a fan of Wu-Tang. We pick up that, you know, you're from where you from. Like, it's just so many different pockets and different layers that you go into, because you're not afraid to try to get into those pockets, man. So with that said, man, I mean, you mentioned Cole Anthony. I just want to let the people hear a little bit of Cole Anthony real quick before we move on.
Gets a little nudge, but gets to the rim and gets the bucket to go. His first 2 points.
It's like, blaze the spliff, walk the block of 45th, stopped at 44th, so I see the courts I was playing in, cause that's when it was simple before, but complicate the shit. People seen potential to giving my realest alias. Alter ego, altered my future like caught placebo. You bought your ego to fuck what I build with some broken people. My soldier's lethal, we crab bridges, you drown in evil. We resemble reloads and keep it coming when we keep the devos. I'm blunt with it, every day is tough. Living job, bitchin', stay persistent, never show your fucks. Giving mad tuition, UPSing, got me pissing off my women. Yes, I dream, but when I sleep, I'm only fucking up my vision. Staying off the PlayStation, told my brother, gotta make it. Father said you could've been a legend like Ray Allen. Music's too basic, I should've been dribbling against Cole Anthony, cause his father in the stands praising. Blaze the spliff, walk the block of 45th, stopped at 44th, so I see the courts I was playing in. Blaze the spliff, walk the block of 45th.
So that's Cole Anthony off Paint Chips, man. Like, I love basketball, man. So I was like, oh shit, let me see what he's talking about on this Cole Anthony. So You mentioned it a little bit before. So you had a scholarship, a D1 scholarship, or just some opportunities to go to college for a full ride?
So I had a lot. Like I had some D1 opportunities, some D2, some JUCO. What happened was the D1s I liked, they told me, yo, do this 1 year at the D2, sharpen up your guard skills, then move up. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's cool. I could see me doing that. But then I was like, yo, this is a lot of work. It's a lot of time, and the motivation and the passion for the sport was dying. Like I felt it every practice in the last 2 years, every game. It was just something turning off. So that's kind of what happened with that. But yeah, I had a few opportunities to really play big ball.
Cool. So I want to play another song, man. One of my favorite songs off of your one of your projects, man. It's called Yankee Kabuto for the people that are listening. So I'm gonna play that one, and then we'll get into it.
Like I said, this one is a little unfinished war movie. I'm gonna play that one. I don't even know how to start this shit, son.
Slide.
Yo,
fuck. I seen what love can start and hate can finish. Love is nothing but a wavy image. Hate the fact that life is made of crazy gimmicks. My man's mother be sucking for what percentage? They never taught her to own.
Hold on. So you get over. I got this one written down. I don't even want people to hear the whole thing because they got to go listen to the full song. My man's mother is sucking for a percentage, never taught her own. Now her body is rented. Explain how you probably like 2-3 bars on that song and you get right to it. Explain that line and just that song overall, the aggression, what you guys are talking about, what you guys were trying to convey. This is featuring Yo OG, by the way, so shout out to him. He killed as well on that track.
Yeah. So, shout out to OG. He part of Divine. He got his own thing going on right now too. But that song, the rhyme happened after I had a conversation with one of my old friends, and he was telling me like, yo, it's hard out here. It's like fighting. It's like a battle. Like, I got shit going on with my mom's. I'm not in school right now. I can't make bread. My father, this. And like, he was really telling me a lot of shit. And then when he told me the shit about his mom, like him seeing that, I was like, I could only imagine like how she got there and how he now feels and what he's about to go through. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, she probably got there because, people wasn't teaching financial literacy. They wasn't teaching her like, yo, do this. And the hood probably got to her. Like, he didn't tell me exactly those things, but I was just kind of making the story in my head about how a lot of women get there is because they was never shown love and none of that. You know what I'm saying? Never taught really anything besides you got a fat ass. So I was just like, yo, you feel me? I seen what love could start and hate could finish. Love is nothing but a wavy image. I hate the fact that life is made of crazy gimmicks. My man's mother be sucking for a percentage. They never told her to own. Now her body is rented. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now she out here selling because she was just never taught nothing. And that's the problem with a lot of our kids, our black babies, moms, and all of that. We wasn't taught it. You know what I'm saying? So now we do other things to get where we need to go. And it's sad.
Yeah, it's tough when you're hearing it from your friends, and it's often tough when it's in your own family. I remember growing up and going through it with a particular family member, and I won't name who it is, out of respect for that family member, but you knew what that family member was doing. You knew what that family member was hooked on. You know what I mean? Right. And once they're hooked on to certain things, you don't that drug, that addiction has control over them. What you represent, the family, what they represent, that no longer matters. You know what I mean? All that matters is that next hit, that next high, or you know what I mean? Or in your friend's case, maybe, what, his mom or was trying to do to provide. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where it's like, I heard all that in that song. And, you know, music is about what you can resonate with, what you've gone through. You know what I mean? Me, personally, I've gone through that. You know what I mean? I've seen exactly what you're talking about. Not exactly the same story, but
right.
same things. You know what I'm saying? And this is somebody that anytime I go home and visit Brooklyn, that's the first person I see. One of the first person I see, and I respect that person either way. You know what I mean? Because their addictions or whatever the case may be don't stop what they did for me while I was coming up and put me in position to be, you know, where I'm at. So that's definitely a dope song, man. So
verse 2, I tried to just show just the melancholiness of the whole, like that, his mindset. You know, that's kind of also why I opened it up like that. I seen what love could start and hate could finish, you know, because he probably somewhere now where he don't even really want love from a woman. He might not even look at a woman to sing. Like, to him, love is nothing but a wavy image. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's some made up shit to him right now, probably. So,
right. And who he chooses to love, or whoever chooses to love him, is going to have to fight a lot harder to get his heart because of what he's been through. But I think that happens in you know, all relationships and everybody that builds up over time. Like, you got to battle what a person's been through to get to their heart, to figure them out. So that'll happen over time, but it's unfortunate that, you know, he's going to have to go through that, man. So, you know, I wanted to kind of go back to just, you know, COVID as we're still in a pandemic, as, you know, people like to forget, you know, we're outside, we can go out and do things, but COVID is still very real. One of the songs that you had that resonated with a lot of people as I was looking online was Napoleon Hill. So we'll play that real quick, and then we're going to discuss and get into some of the stuff you were saying off that.
Sick shit got me feeling crazy, bro. Damn, I'm tired of this shit. Yo, what? Yeah, I'm in my room, kickboxing, the COVID snot in my nose, and I'm trying to stop the shivers. I'm panicking, time frozen for a minute. Seen the reaper creeping to my quarters grinning. I was livid, I ain't get the finished purpose of my living. He said,
nigga, you ain't dead, relax. The subconscious devil, the half of the atom that you reject. Let's reflect, you need balance to coast in this global malice, or be taken over by sex, money, and global violence.
I was taken by his prowess, I didn't know him for honest. The folklore's telling his lies, evil and bias.
Correct, I'm the ruler of negative in your negligence, keeping drifters and non-thinkers broke with no precedence. Listen, it's been hard to lock you in my cobra clutch. Every single slit the snake I send your way, you tend to overtrump. What's this persistence? For what percentages? I could give you riches. It's something lately I've been cherishing.
My face resembled disgust, sick, but I'm never weak. Get the fuck from my bed and flee, cause I'm one with the G and cock was Christ conscious. Life is a figment of what I...
So, with that said, man, people y'all have heard, you know, half of Napoleon Hill, like that song, man, like, is that a real life recollection of you, you know, or is that just something that you kind of created as far as something that people possibly have gone through?
So a lot of my music, it come from the point of like what I've seen, you know, most times, and like trying to pull out, like trying to bring out feelings out of people and like characters I make in my stories from just understanding, you know. I maybe not have lived it, but I could try to dig deep enough to understand it just with what I lived. But with Napoleon Hill, what happened with that song is interesting because I actually caught COVID, right? And you know, when you catch it, you in your room 2-3 weeks, you don't really you have nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? So all I could do was listen to music and write. So I was laying here and I was trying to figure out how could I make this moment productive or like last, and I could remember it. And I started just coming up with this story, like, you know, I'm in my room kickboxing the COVID. And another thing was while I was sick, I was reading this book called What's the shit called again, Javi? Nah, the shit with Napoleon Hill. Oh, Interview with the Devil. Interview with the Devil by Napoleon Hill. And he was just taught in the book, he kind of described the devil and heaven and hell as not a place you go, but more of a state of consciousness. And how we all have them both in us. You know what I'm saying? And some people are drifters and they're weak. And they drift off into that stuff. They drift off into a life of, you know, bullshit and easily influenced. You know what I'm saying? They let the devil fight it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, even at my lowest moment, when I was sick, I was weak, I was still able to overcome. You know, like I'm stronger than that. You know what I'm saying? It kind of just show you where my mind is at, and you know, that you can overcome and just be stronger than some shit like that. You know.
For sure, man. Glad you better, man. Glad you made it through that. But even more, man, like it's crazy how you made art out of probably one of your lowest points. You know what I'm saying? Physically, because at the time, I'm sure what Napoleon Hill is in 2020. This is at the height of. This is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. To me, it's crazy that you were still writing through that and having those different type of thoughts and the ability to kind of convey that, you know what I mean? So that just shows a lot of creativity in the face of adversity that, you know, I don't think a lot of people are even, you know, thinking about at that time, like right in the rap. You know what I mean? I'm trying to live, you know what I mean? And everybody has different circumstances. So the ability to make art out of a terrible situation is something that, man, I can only commend, man. I can only commend.
Thank you. And yeah, bro, like I got a problem because I always feel like I'm kind of wasting time. So even being sick, you know, physically, like I still felt like it was something I could be doing, or something that was calling me to do something, you know what I'm saying? So when I started reading that audio book and listening and him breaking this shit down, the science to it, I was just like, yo, I feel like in a way, like that's what a lot of people with COVID is low-key going through, like letting this shit defeat them, not only physically, but mentally too. And not that one moment in time, and this is why I love, you know, philosophy, that one moment in time, that one little thing could now connect to so many things. So many people could be, you know, at a low and then let something different in life, you know, like straight them away and fully take them out of their, you know, purpose. So the whole song is a metaphor itself.
Sure. But one last song I want to play before we get into some dope questions, so where people would learn a little bit more about you and stuff like that. Some fun questions, man. I'm gonna play the Albatross and the Crane, and ironically, you got your man Javi Darko, you know, in the room with you. So, you know, if he want to hop on and discuss some stuff, he can. It's up to him, man. But we're going to play the Albatross and the Crane, man, because I thought this was a dope example of how, you know, the skits seamlessly go into the flows and how you guys find the right pockets. And even at times, you like, fuck the pocket. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say what I got to say, and I'm going to get off, and I'm going to create this new style. So with that said, man, this is Albatross and the Cranes featuring Javi Darko.
I stand on the corner of the block slinging amethyst rocks, drinking 40s of Mother Earth's private nectar stock, dodging cops, cause 50 be the 666, and I need a fix of that purple rain, the type of shit that drives membranes insane. Oh yeah, I'm in the fast lane, snorting candy yams that free my body and soul and send me like Shazam. Never question who I am, God knows, and I know God personally. In fact, he lets me call him me.
Right, yo, fuck the president. He planted devils around my residence. Residue of heavens and brothers never had benefits, but struggle, determining factors that made me hustle. Fuck it, did a few visit, contributed to my muscle. Back on the block, cocking a Glock, invested in stocks, receiving dents on my armor from cops. Corrupt figures who touch niggas, cause our perspectives a little different. We grew with the there was no dinner, grooming a killer. We stayed poor, crackers got richer, made us bitter. I quit that night, father gone, he out of sight. Bullet hit him, his penal gland flew like torpedo fans. Said it was by his mans. Took his money and ran. Damn, my fam hungry. My sister selling pussy. My mama shooting rock like an NBA rookie. That's a fact. Reality trap, freedom and death. You ever pray to God, hoping that he chooses you next? Yo, this is my stress. Prison, know I'm living my checks. Pimp slapping up my sister and they cutting the breast. Gotta sell ourselves just to get rest. No vice versa. A wife's purpose is to eliminate. We been in rape, left in section 8. No wonder we on the dinner plate. Nigga, it's innate. I'm born sinner, cause when it rains it pours, I let the chopper spray an open doors. I'm evil to the core. It's reason for me beating on the horn.
Again, that's Albatross and the Crane. Yeah, just take us through that song and kind of what you guys were trying to deliver on that track.
Okay, I'm gonna let Javi speak a little bit too, but I'm gonna get it off real quick. So yeah, first the song was originally going to song to where the two characters you're hearing was going to meet in jail also. You know what I'm saying? So that might be something that happens later on, but yeah, I had came to Javi like, son, I want to write like an ill story from a wild perspective of some of the people we've seen go through these things in life. You know what I'm saying? And kind of like lay it flat in our own way and just show our depths and our creativity. Like we could take it there too. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was. I feel like, the verses kind of song really about, but yeah, it's about a lot of people that I seen go through, all of those things. The skits in the beginning was from the movie Slam with is it Saul Williams or Paul Williams? It's one of those, but yeah, I thought that shit was so powerful and it kind of like summed up the song, that skit in the beginning and the end. I'm gonna let Javi speak though.
Yo, how's it going, yo?
Hey, chilling, man. How you doing, man?
Chilling, man. Ready for this performance we gotta go to later.
Absolutely. So what was your thought process or creative process, rather, kind of going into the Albatross and the Crane?
It's crazy because he approached me with the idea while we was in the car. And it was one of those moments as an artist where like you hear the beat, you hear his verse, and you start writing immediately. You know what I'm saying? I wrote a majority of the verse literally in the car, what I'm saying? So what inspired me is just like he said, we've seen so many stories growing up and so many people from different sides of the spectrum that like, while we didn't emulate it growing up, you can't help but not learn from it. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of negative role models teaching you what not to do. So a lot of those negative role models I saw growing up, I just incorporated their stories into that song.
I could definitely identify with that. Like, as I've gone moved along in my travels, a lot of people be like, yo, I can't believe you from New York, the way you carry yourself. You know what I mean? And this is not me, tooting my own horn, but like I listen and watch. You know what I'm saying? And, I have my pops, he's gone through his trials and tribulations, but he's the person that, yo, I did this. My pops was the Hove did that. Hopefully you don't have to go through that. That was my pops. You know what I'm saying?
Same situation here, exactly.
So I don't have to, you don't got to tell me a lot that don't go through this or don't do this. Don't steal, don't rob, don't kill. You don't got to tell me, don't sell drugs, like, or you're going to end up here away from your family, missing 6-7 years of your child's life. So it's a lot of that stuff that you guys are saying in that song. And again, you know what I mean? I don't know your exact age, but I know you guys are younger than me. And it's just refreshing to hear that you guys are not necessarily following, quote unquote, OGs that are doing it necessarily the wrong way. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Easy to get caught up in that trap, man. And I've seen too many people get caught up in it.
Sure, man. But yo, I appreciate you being there, man, for sure, man, and stepping in, man. So definitely.
So I appreciate you for having me, man. Thank you.
No doubt, man. I definitely got to tap into your music as well and get familiar with you guys. But like I told Ja, man, I'm happy to be late to the train because that means I got a plethora of music to catch up on, and that's always a good thing.
Word. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
No doubt, man. No doubt. All right, y'all. So I wanted to, normally we do these quick hitters so we can get to know you before we get on out of here, man. So, you know, you got your basketball background. You mentioned your comics and things that you into. So we got a few fun questions just so people kind of get to know you a little bit, man. So I know you mentioned Jizza in some of your posts as RZA you also mentioned. And for me, I feel like you have a heavy Wu-Tang influence, especially with this latest project, Delusions of Grandeur. So with that said, man, you have to make a pick. You have to make some picks. Top three
Wu-Tang albums?
Top three Wu-Tang albums from any member.
God. All right. And all right, the first one definitely is Liquid Swords, Jizza album. That's the one. I got that shit on a cassette, and I don't even got nothing to play it with. But that one was crazy for me. Then I'm gonna have to with Into the 36 Chambers. It's a classic. If not that one, then I'm going with the Purple Tape. If people want to say that one is too easy, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's your top three. It's your top three. Who cares if it's easy? If you love it, we all love it, man. I mean, Purple Tape is in my top three. I'll try to answer this too. Supreme Clientele, right. And I'll say Only Built for Cuban. No, I already said that. Let's go with. I'll go with Takal. I know it. Yep.
My third one gonna be definitely Iron Man.
Yeah.
Definitely Iron Man. That shit's crazy.
What's the joint?
Daytona 500 is crazy.
You know what? The Ghost joint I like a lot that he don't get credit for. I think it was the green cover where he did a lot of melodic stuff on it. It was like damn, I forget the name of it, but it's one of them. I'll probably shoot it to you, man. But it's like he did a lot of experimenting on that where it was like a lot of R&B-ish type stuff, but it was super soulful at the same time. I just can't remember the name of the project, but
what you talking about, but I can't remember it either.
Yeah. All right, man. So you out of Brooklyn, 21. So I'll give you some grace in this question and I won't give you too much shit about it. Whoever you pick. Knicks and Nets.
Nets. I'm sorry. And I know y'all be like, y'all niggas is crazy. But the Nets, they got somewhere this year. The Knicks, I've been so mad at them. Like every year I got some confidence in them. They just they throw it away. Bro.
We should be straight this year though. We should be more than competent this year. We got Kemba, he back home. I rock with Melo, but Melo really wasn't from New York.
That's a fact.
He grew up in Red. Anyway, right. So, but yeah, man, Kemba back. We got Julius doing his thing. He's I think he looking to make amends for that terrible playoff performance.
I was about to say, he pissed me off.
Every game. What is he? He too much into his head. You know what I mean? I think we'll be straight, man. I think we'll be straight. Maybe not. We may end up where we at right now, man. But Brooklyn, a monster. If they healthy, they are going to be monsters.
If Brooklyn is healthy, they got it. They really was going to win it, but they broke down at the last few games. But I had them.
Yeah, y'all about a half a shoe. Half a shoe size away from being in the finals for sure. Next question. One producer, one album. This is all you need to get to the next level, so to speak. Or just, your personal favorite. Who are you picking? One producer, one album, entire thing.
Definitely Madlib. Easy. Madlib. He done worked with all the dudes I love, and he got that musical gritty touch to it. You know what I'm saying? When he did Pinata with Gibbs, I said, this is perfect right here. You know what I'm saying? You get everything you want. It's musical and Gibbs is rapping his ass off. I say, yo, Malik is ridiculous. And he done worked with the Dillas, the Doom, so he got all of they bags in his gauntlet. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
All right. I mean, with that said, bandana or pinata?
Pinata still.
Pinata still?
Pinata still. Bandana was crazy, but just because how Pinata hit me, you know what I'm saying? I gotta give it to you.
Yeah, point in time. I get it. All right.
Yeah.
So, we mentioned a lot of artists as far as, in your upbringing and people that you resonated with. So if you can name a song, an artist, or project that said, I want to pursue this MC shit. I want to be in hip hop. Who would that be? What song would that be? What, you know what I mean? What project would that be?
Fool by MF Doom. Actually, Fool by MF Doom and Rhymes Like Dimes is the song. Rhymes Like Dimes. Okay. That one, that project alone showed me that it's space for people that don't want to, that love hip hop but want to, do something else with it and be kind of really creative with it. You know what I'm saying? It blew my mind. It hit me like when I first heard Illmatic when I was young, and I thought that was the illest shit ever. The album was amazing.
Sure. All right. Last but not least, last question before we get out of here. Like you said, you're a fan of the arts, fan of comics and things of that nature. And, I was as well growing up, but, things get away from me, family and all that stuff. But I try to keep up as best as possible. But for you, man, it's an easy question. Marvel or DC? What is it going to be?
Marvel, easy.
All right. Favorite character?
Turn the camera around. I'll show you this big ass Spider-Man poster I got on my wall right now.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah, for real, Marvel.
For sure. Favorite character is Spider-Man, I take it.
Not exactly. I love who I really, really love. Yo, you heard of Spawn before?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he got a few movies that came out. It didn't quite do what it was supposed to do, but it was straight.
Mm-hmm. I like the mercenary type dudes like Spawn, Deadpool, Punisher, like all of them. Though that was my bag. I really love them type of dudes.
For sure. Hey, I think Netflix is doing it some justice, but they getting there, man. They getting there as far as the series go, man. I like to see them step it up a level a little bit, man.
It's definitely, bro. Especially, I wanted them to do a new Blade type of thing, but I don't even know no more because I heard they doing Wesley Snipes dirty with that whole thing.
Right. I mean, there's plenty of people that could play a new Blade, but they got to get it right with Wesley first, man, because he killed that role, truth be told.
He saved the entire Marvel with that movie, that first Blade movie. That's like real shit. Him alone rebooted the whole thing because they went bankrupt shooting that movie.
Crazy. I ain't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah, I've been terrible with that type of information as time has evolved. But yeah, man, I'm heavily into. I'm a Marvel guy as well. Hopefully DC can get they stuff right here in the future to keep putting out quality stuff, man. But yeah, man, I just watched the latest Suicide Squad and disappointed again. Shit was trash.
It's trash. I don't even want to do it to myself.
Yeah, I mean,
I heard about the Suicide Squad.
Hey, watch it for yourself. I mean, if it's trash, then at least you could say you watched it and you could verify it's trash instead of taking other people's opinion. So it is what it is, man. I mean, they try, but I mean, how you mess up Idris Elba, man? Like, how you mess that up? Crazy.
How? And that's my favorite actor at the moment.
I don't know how you mess it up, man. But yeah, man. But with that said, man, Ja, man, look, I appreciate your time. You and your team and you guys being such a young collective and moving the way you do is encouraging for me as a fan, for me as an older dude that is watching you guys blossom. You are guys that we want to champion. You are guys that we want to, share our platform with and help out however we can help out. If we get you one more listener, 100 more listeners, that's all we trying to do is just spread the good word about just positive hip hop, dope hip hop, artistry, and just businessmen, man. Like that's what's most important to me, that you guys are doing all those things and the shit is dope at the same time. So not a lot of cats are doing that at such a young age and have such a great vision. So I appreciate you coming on. Hit you Wednesday, Tuesday this week. It's Friday at the moment. We're doing this. So too easy. No BS in between. So we appreciate you coming on, man. Before we let you go, man, I want you to plug your social media, anything that you and your team have coming up before we let you go.
Well, yeah, you guys can find me on the gram at Ja King the Divine, JAKING THEDIVINE. Projects coming up next is Javi Darko is about to release 111 soon. You okay with that, right? Yeah, he's about to release 111. KJ, he's about to release another one called Incognito by the end of the year. And be expecting new merch, new vinyl deals with the Rat Wrinkle. A lot of new moves, being made. Look out next week for KJ. He got to join in with Elza, Ill Conscious, and Ransom. That dropped next week on the Wednesday. So we working. It's the new movement, Divine Records. Art, cinematography, and hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Culture. That's it.
Right. So with that said, man, I'm Cash, one half of the Don't Sleep on the Couch podcast team. This is Ja King Divine Records. Y'all tap in with Javi. You tap in with Ja King. You tap in with KJ. And I'm forgetting one member, I believe.
Two more. Light and Yo OG.
Tap in with all those gentlemen. And we hoping to expand this and get the rest of the fellas on, and so they could tell their story and get them their interviews, man. So we have no problem doing that. The couch is, you guys are always welcome on the couch, whether you want to just tap in, talk sports shit, talk movies, or whether you want to talk about your project, you guys are always welcome back, for sure.
Appreciate that, bro. And I'm thankful for the opportunity. You even reaching out, letting me sit up here and talk today is dope. I hope you just keep working, you know what I'm saying? You get, some of the other guys up here to talk, because they interesting too, you know what I'm saying? They got a story, and how we all met up is a crazy story in itself. So thank you.
No doubt, man, no doubt. So we'll put this episode out as soon as humanly possible, man. We'll keep you posted, man. But with that said, this is a bonus episode. So indie artist spotlight again, Ja King the Divine. Check out Delusions of Grandeur, and then go check out his back catalog. Trust me, you won't be sorry. With that said, we out.